up late, charts on fire, red and green like a funeral pyre. Discord screen and LFG, but my portfolio's haunting me. Spiked my coffee with regret. Last night I longed to break out bet. Now I'm broke, not broken yet. Just one more pump, I won't forget. Buy high, die huddling. The 10 brain dopamine's controlling. Ride the whale or get wrecked clean. This crypto dream's a guillotine. Fake guru with 1,000 subs showed me coins in shitty clubs. Promised moons, Lambos and jets. Now I'm left with JPEGs and debts. Scalped my soul in a 5-minute chart. Market dumped and it ripped my heart. But I'll reload, I'll play to win. Even if I lose it all again. Buy high, die huddling. Gas fees burn, but I keep rolling. FOMO's gone, greed's the king. This crypto dream's a punk rock thing. In the glass, risk it all, no brakes, full gas. Liquidation, call me sweet. Whisper, welcome to defeat. No stop loss, no regrets. Code and chaos, no safety nets. Satoshi's ghost in my DMs told me to ape again and again. Buy high, die huddling. Gas fees burn, but I keep rolling. If I crash, at least I tried. In this wild west of blockchain rights. I'll be trading till the lights go out. Charts are noise, but I live for the sound. One candle spike, and I'm back in town. Crypto's a fight, and I'm 10 toes down. Diamond hands with the crack in the glass. Risk it all, no brakes, full gas. But I'll reload, I play to win. Even if I lose it all again. Woke up late, charts on fire, red and green like a funeral pyre. Discord screen and LFG, but my portfolio's haunting me. Spiked my coffee with regret. Last night I longed to break out bet. Now I'm broke, not broken yet. Just one more pump, I won't forget. Buy high, die huddling. The 10 brain dopamine's controlling. Ride the whale or get wrecked clean. This crypto dream's a guillotine. Fake guru with 1,000 subs showed me coins in shitty clubs. Promised moons, Lambos and jets. Now I'm left with JPEGs and debts. Scalped my soul in a 5-minute chart. Market dumped and it ripped my heart. But I'll reload, I'll play to win. Even if I lose it all.
What's up, guys? I hope you had an awesome holiday. We got what's up, Steering? Coma, Happy New Year, man. Andrew. First New Year's with the little one there, man. Nice. Remus. Noah. Million. Trip. Keen Bean. All right. Yeah, so it's been started off pretty slow with crypto so far. We chugged along here, building this little bit of an uptrend, liquidity curve up towards our supply, generated from this, we had this 5-minute move here where we had an impulse move down build a base structure, another impulse move down, create this the supply risk warning. We had a decent reaction off of it when we initially got here. It fell right down towards the uptrending momentum and got a decent bounce, grabbing liquidity from the order flow from this low. And now we're back up here trying to fight it again. So with the confluence of the 15-minute orb and our placement, we could use this to help us with a setup for a potential long if the risk to reward ratio is there, because we have another big supply risk up here. But the better play would be the short in terms of risk to reward ratio. Unless you're already in a long, then you got nothing to worry about. If you got in a long, let's say after we got this bullish change of character that I warned anyone who was in the short that we were talking about here to get out during that moment, just because, yeah, when you have a bullish change of character with an aggressive bounce off of the point of control like this, it could start coming up towards hitting your stop loss, and eventually it would have. So yeah, right now I'm looking for like one of two things, and it looks like it's gonna try to do one of those two things. I'm looking for a support bounce off this local resistance to see if we can get a decent stop loss guard before trying to take the trade to the 50-day EMA, where the 40, well, I guess it's close to 50-day value area high is right here as well. So lots of confluence here for rejection, and it's not just those two forms of confluence, it's also a crap ton of liquidity starts getting pulled up here as well. So once we get up here, we'll be looking for shorts, and the short could take us all the way back down to the valley area low, down here at around 85,200. But we'd have to watch the same barrier that we were trading off of for shorts. Let me just zoom out a little bit. So this volume shelf right here, this could act as a really strong form of support once we get up here. So we have to watch that if you're taking any shorts as our primary barrier that could prevent us from going down lower. It might be our first take profit area, honestly, depending on how we react to it. Happy New Year, Kyle. Thanks, man. Quantum, what's up? So that's that scenario. I might not even take the long. I'd rather just wait for the potential short, just because of the risk to reward ratio just not really being there. But it all really does depend on how we get that long. Over here, we have a couple of wick level highs we can watch out for as well for potential SFPs. So if we get like a sweep of this high, it could be what induces the pullback to retest this level before potentially getting that higher high and then going towards the value area high. So you could get a short-term, quick little snipe trade here after sweeping these highs. But yeah, the preferred scenario, and no, it's not up to me, it's up to the market, but the preferred scenario is us like leaving this 15-minute orb and coming down and using the VWAP as resistance, so I can short it down towards at least the point of control at 87,250. Right now it's looking a little strong, so we might not get that scenario. We'll see what happens. Things can change in an instant though. Can you please check on gold? Yeah, we could do that. I think gold had a bit of a correction. We can take a peek. Okay, so that's Bitcoin. Nothing too fancy. But make sure if you're going to be trading any altcoins today that you'd have Bitcoin's bias along your side, unless the altcoin that you're trading has relative strength, which is usually pretty rare, but there are some assets out there that do have their own relative strength once in a while, like Zcash, for example. So I got a request to look at gold, so we can take a peek at gold. We got it right here, ready to go. We had it. Oh yeah, looks like we got another bit of a dip here. Let me zoom out on this thing. So last time we were looking at it, we were talking about this supply risk here, and looks like we chugged along with an regression trend and broke through it to the upside. And now we got this bit of a rounded top, bearish change of character right here. And then during that moment, we fell back down towards the previous supply risk, but we can delete this. This basically became a form of demand. Look at that. It's so quiet. So we can mark our order blocks in place. So if we do come back up, we can watch it as a form of resistance. All right, send that to back and get our... I should probably make a link just for our gold charts, because there's a lot more people asking about gold lately. Right. Okay. We got 2 order blocks here, a bit of supply risk, like right here. We have a really harsh rejection. We didn't take this high. This is unclaimed high, or strong high. Sorry. We have a strong high here that was a little bit front run, so there's a chance that we pooled more liquidity up here. And this is what usually creates those inverse head and shoulders kind of behavior, because when we start stacking liquidity above us, it tends to be used as buy side liquidity to induce a move back up. But only expect that if it confirms, and try to front run it as much as you can. So this is a good key level to prepare for a bullish move off of, and based on the momentum of the structure, it has a suggestive target of reaching back up here at 4,536, assuming it confirms. So just watch this key level. Until then, you could try to front run that level by using fibs from this low to this high. Oh, my bad, you got the wrong settings here. And we have an hourly order block here, so we got 2 key levels to watch. This low here and this golden pocket zone here where the hourly order block is, but it looks like we're breaking right through it. So you can just mark this zone as an area of interest right here. We could get a sweep and then return back up, and it should be a relatively decent move back up. We have a lot of fair value gaps created here, so it could be a fast-paced return to this high. So we can look for a lower time frame bullish change of character. I'd say like the 15-minute or maybe the 5. Let's take a look at the structure quickly. The 15-minute would probably be safe. You need to have a 2-candle pullback and then a lower low, and then you'd have a key level for that change of character to start targeting this high. We don't have any proper pullbacks from the moment of this high down to this low, so you'd need to have some kind of bounce to generate that kind of structure first. But once you get that structure, then you'll have a good key level to prepare for a long back up here if you want to go for the change of character. And going for a change of character rather than just a sweep, you'll have a higher probability of being right and not being stopped out. So like something like this, for example, we had the internal change of character. You'd use this as your stop loss guard. It would have been awfully close to knocking you out, but it would have held you through at least to this high. So you're looking for a similar scenario, and that would then paint a bigger picture of that inverse head and shoulders kind of posture, warning you of accumulation at these levels, and then we can start seeing a return back up to these highs if this key level breaks. So that's gold. I hope that helps you out. Let's go back to Bitcoin though. Let's see. Bitcoin. Yeah, getting above that local resistance. I marked this level here as a key level based on the volume shelf. So this is where the ceiling or the floor is of the volume shelf. And when I mean by floor or ceiling, I just mean the bottom or top side of the key level. So this is like the volume shelf here. And this would be the ceiling of it. This would be the floor of it. So both sides of this will act as a form of support or resistance. but in between it, we tend to have the faster paced price action. Okay, let's see. What do we have here? You can pull up the chat. You took that 5-minute SFP today, took half on the VWOOP, and moved the stop loss to break even. Nice, man. That was a decent SFP. Strong. It didn't hit its technical target, at least not on the time frame that I was looking at it on. Oh, it did. Okay, it did. Yeah, so we had, was it this one here you took? There's a, yeah, it's okay. So this one didn't hit the technical target. The technical target was here, but that's a big ask. So if you took half at the break at the VWAP, then moved to break even right after, you did good, man. Good job. Did that hit did that meet all of our strategy rules? Like the community and I have been working together hard on this new strategy, SFP strategy, that so far has a 68% win rate, and it's so mechanical and easy. You only need to know like 3 things, and you got yourself a high win rate strategy and it tells you where to put the stop loss. It tells you where to target. It tells you where to prepare to enter, and what 2 conditions that need to be met. So we're almost done it. We just got to. I want another 34 more samples, and then we will have actually considered a strategy, because I like to have 100 samples or more before I consider it a potential strategy. Anything less than that, you're kind of, yeah, you're not really getting true potential probability odds on your setups. Okay. Yeah, here we could see price action dip out of the 15-minute orb where this 15-minute candle high is, and sweep that. We've just barely front run it so far. So if we get that sweep, you could potentially see that SFP bring the price action right back down towards this new technical target. But again, just like Coma was really smart to prepare to take some off the table here, this is where we'd have to watch for potential opposing resistance that can prevent it from hitting that target. You're okay. You're saying the 5-minute MFI was a bit above the 70. Oh, I got you. Yeah. Let's see. I'm going to read this message in my head first. Oh, yeah. You're on crack. It's difficult for me to follow because of the language. Please, could you put an option to read and listen to you in Spanish? A hug from the other side of the planet. For lives, it's very difficult because they don't really have auto subtitles for lives. But there isn't. What we could try to do is turn them into regular form, long form videos, and then there'll be an auto dub feature for you guys. I could look into see if there's an auto dub feature for after the lives are done, and that can help you out. I got a lot of people who speak Spanish following me ever since. There's this guy who made a video about me, and he only spoke Spanish, so I got a wave of people messaging me in Spanish now. The only reason I've been able to talk to a lot of you guys is because of ChatGPT. Just been using it as a translator. But I'll try to find a solution for you. I'll look into it. You're lurking at work, Bearded Mac Mike. Nice. You're a lurker at work. That's great. Must be construction, right? Okay. Let's see. We got Cal's here Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Thanks, Sterling. What's your take on H-bar? I don't know what my take is on H-bar. Let's take a look. I am a big fan of the asset and what it's capable of doing for people, like this nano contract system allowing you to basically be anybody and make your own smart contract. This structure here on the hourly looks mega bullish. We're right above this neckline, mitigating the supply risk right here. Let's zoom out though, because I don't know why I have this massive red box. I think I might have accidentally. Yeah, so this was a demand zone at one point. Send it back. Yeah, this was a demand zone. I'm going to delete some of this noise. It's not really necessary to have that valley area information anymore. Okay. So yeah, if we zoom out on H bar, we had drawn this as a key level to prepare for potential longs off of this. It's just a historical horizontal level support and resistance, not anything more significant than just that. H bar has this like habit of making really strong, large demand zones and then like skyrocketing out of them. This time around, we've gotten below the macro demand zone, and we could be using it as resistance, but we're trying to get acceptance into it right now as we speak. We have this broad momentum here, an even broader momentum here, that could act as a form of barrier, so you got to watch those on the order books for potential sell pressure. But we're breaking this downtrending, more evolved, faster pace momentum because the pace of the sellers has sped up ever since we used this valley area as a form of resistance. And we can try to reclaim some of this wick, but that's a tough ask to get down that low. But we are breaking a double bottom, ascending double bottom. We built a strong daily order block off of the most recent bounce. So this will act as a form of support the next time we return down to it. Let's just change this. Send it back. There we go. Okay, and we just mitigated a bearish daily order block coming up through here from this guy here. Okay, all right, so now we're above this massive double bottom. Now we just gotta watch out for opposing barriers as we try to find support off this neckline. We have this previous low that you could watch. I had it originally marked to prepare for SFPs, but now we got to watch that previous low as a potential form of resistance. But here's our big key level. Yeah, we're just getting it. Yeah, we got above it already. So what you're kind of looking for, yeah, is basically support off these highs, a mitigation of this supply. So right to this wick is going to be a problem. So we got to watch for an opposing reaction here. That reaction might allow you to get in if you're not in on a long already. For the reason why I say long is because if that opposing bearish reaction causes us to come back, we can watch to see how we respond to these previous highs for a potential support bounce and a strong continuation up. These double bottoms have really aggressive targets when they're this big with this much momentum. They give sometimes will give you a move like this. This suggests a target of reaching the valley area low of this previous range. But yeah, barriers along the way you have to watch. We have a supply risk here with order blocks. We have an order block here at 12,481. And then of course we still have the mitigation of this local supply, which kind of helped induce the range that we were in, right? Constantly fighting against it. So yeah, basically for H bar, it's looking really bullish, but I would like to see a retest and then a higher high before coming up for anyone who might be missing the party. And it'd be more sustainable for the climb up if it did something like that anyways. You don't want to reclaim all those, these gains, right? You want to stabilize and then pump, not just go straight up. Otherwise, those pumps are usually unsustainable and it tends to, retrace all the gains. I just sound like a broken record. But yeah. So let's delete this. And let's mark from the wick high to the low. Send it back. And we can bring it up to mitigation. This is all we got really left to worry about. in a key level on this time frame, not looking good. Let's see. Yeah, this is the level that you don't want broken, is right here. Then we'd flip bearish on the 15-minute, and it would have acceptance back inside this range. So, and a close below the VWAP. So lots of confluence here if this were to break for potential shorts. That would bring us back down to, I would be targeting the daily order block right here. And depending on the high here, you can have a from a low to high pull. And you might have golden pocket confluence alongside that. You can watch out for as well. But yeah, that's H bar. Hope that helps you out. Go back to Bitcoin. Oh man, yeah, Bitcoin kind of pumped right through this. No retest entry, so I couldn't get in if I wanted to anyways. Kind of just teleported up. So now it's just about waiting on those potential shorts then. Up here at 91.5, where the 50-day EMA is. We have supply up here. Value area highs here. I have this golden box here marked due to a large amount of clustered liquidity is there too. But we finally broke bullish on from this high, because we've been dealing with internal price action for all of this. A lot of this was internal. We were internal between this high and this low for a long time, like trading internal price action. But now that we finally broke it, we can, anyone who doesn't like internal price action will be happy at least. Okay. Let's go back to the chat. Medical field. Okay, well, that's a lot better. We need more of you guys, especially in Canada. If you guys want to come over to Canada, we have a terrible medical system here right now. I'd love to see your videos in Spanish dub, but I'm not sure I can survive that. Yeah. Appreciate it, bro. No problem. Kyle, is your OR okay? That's a good question. Yes? Yeah, my open range is okay. Missed out on Biddy. I don't really consider it missing out. I look for really specific conditions before like giving a signal, or taking a trade myself. This, even though it ran up without me, I'm not really too worried about it. It just means I'll have to wait for the short opportunity. Because I was looking for it, because I don't really like this structure and longing into an uptrend like that, like at resistance, at supply. I want to look for the condition of like a retest and then a higher high, so I can use a better stop loss guard when I was targeting this high. Because if I just jumped in on the confirming candle, which is on the 15-minute, hasn't really gotten there yet, stop loss would be way the heck down here. Target would be here. You're risking to lose more money than you're trying to gain. Because the stop losses I tend to choose are strong lows or strong highs, to dramatically decrease the chance of being stopped out before my target is hit. But sometimes that means not getting the setup because the risk reward ratio isn't really there for me. But it's fine though. Yeah, up here we're looking for shorts now. We swept this high here. We're getting a bit of a reaction off of it. Potential SFP. This is like a legacy SFP sweep of the 15-minute time frame. We could pull up. MFI is at 62.81. I prefer it to be at around 70 when jumping in on SFP shorts. So if we get a close above here, it'll validate the SFP. If we close and get below here, then we'll have the SFP. And it would likely just bring us down towards the technical target of this low, but with a lot of barriers in the way. If you're going to take this SFP, then I would be targeting 89,800 basically. The retest at this high where the local resistance is from the volume shelf. Okay. Happy New Year. What's up, guys? Diamond Palm, HRJ, how you doing, man? Happy New Year, bro. Patience is key. Yeah, patience pays. Sometimes patience will take away opportunities, but most of the time it will give you the best opportunities, right? It's better to miss a trade than to force a bad setup. This would be like a D- long. So, yeah, happy 2026. Do you guys have any goals for this year that you want to write in the chat? Good morning, Chow. How you doing, man? Chow's working on some fun stuff for us. Yeah. I got my goal this year. I've given out some money that I shouldn't have given out, so I've got a really small scalping account now. So my goal this year is to bring that scalping account from, it's at like 4K now after the funds I've lent out. So my goal is to bring that 4K account to 280,000 this year. And I will be like documenting my process and signaling that process to the community, just because, yeah, I want to help out some of the family members, so I got to get that account back up. And I don't want to sell any of my Bitcoin to fuel the account because it will trigger a very strong taxable event that I do not want to trigger. So I just want to keep it unrealized as long as I can, or at least until all the on-chain metrics are met for the end of the bear market, because right now the on-chain metrics are suggesting that we are in an evolving bull market and we're just having a bit of a pullback basically in comparison to what an actual bear market condition would look like. But yeah, so this year, goal to grow to about like 280,000 on that account, and then my other goal is to get to 25,000 subscribers on YouTube. So you guys are going to be a big part of that and help me. I'm starting to get better at the YouTube game. Like I'm more of a trader than a YouTuber, but I'm getting excited. I'm starting to understand like the algorithm and how everything works. But I don't want to change who I am for the algorithm. Like, screw that. Look at that, sweet, man. That's crazy. Kyle, what do you think of Bitcoin going down to 70K zone or 40K? Well, 40K is out of the question. I don't think that's going to happen. Bitcoin is in a state of capitulation when we are around $70,000. So around here, I would say if we were going to come down that low, like absolute worst case scenario, then I would say we'd find support between 73K and 64K. Right? I don't think we'll get full on acceptance into this previous valley area right here. This range was a range that we were within for 250 days. So it's an extremely strong area. A lot of people accumulated here. And when I say Bitcoin's going to be in a state of capitulation around here, I mean that over 50% of the supply will be being held at a loss, which is a bear market bottom condition. Like every time, and you can fact check me on this, but every single time the supply has gotten below 50% of supply being held at a profit, we've got the bottom and we had a massive bull market rally right after. So I don't think we'll go that low, but if we do, I do think it would be the absolute bottom before having a strong rally up. So if anyone's holding Bitcoin and is fearful, I wouldn't really be too concerned about it going below like 65K. Okay, so we have better conditions here than we did here for a bull run. We have, it's been like 2 years since the supply has been this low in a profit, which that has to tell you something about the type of accumulation that we've been having. A lot of people have been exiting them, retail mostly has exited here. A large amount of retail left the building during that time, and institutions have just bought it right back up from them. And then a large amount of people reaccumulated here. So a bunch of people are holding at a loss right now up there. They're basically used as exit liquidity. And I do think that we're going to return back up, but then we obviously have to watch out for this being a very incredibly strong area of resistance. Like 107K is going to be really hard for us to break past. But when we do, well, hopefully we do, then it'll be mega bullish again for some of the macro analysts, right? When I say macro analysts, I mean people that are looking for that daily bullish change of character, and we can't get it until we break that high. Unless we take this low first. If we take this low first, then that key level is going to rotate from here to here. And then we just potentially would have a very large macro double bottom. But we could also have this ascending double bottom play out right now. We could come up and break that high and return up here, but this would act as a huge, strong level of supply, like 100K, 99K. And we have a metric ton of liquidity here. So I could see us smashing our head here and coming back down. So I hope that helps you answer your question. If you're ever nervous about like where Bitcoin's going to go, like long term like that, I'd recommend learning about on-chain metrics. We do have it in the course, but I'm sure there's information out there as well that you could try to find it online. I recommend researching like Glassnode and CoinGlass because they have really good systems to help you understand like what's going on behind the curtain, behind the price action, right? All right, we got the SFP, guys. Super bearish. Swept the 2 highs. Got a 15-minute SFP off those previous highs, and it closed back inside the 15-minute orb. But the downside is, like, even though it's bearish, the wick is way up here, right? And the technical target is here. But we have a barrier right here. So in a scenario like this, if I wanted to take the SFP, I would look for a retrace because the invalidation point's this high. This is the confirming candle. So what you could do, even though it's been confirmed, and if you don't like the R&R, what you do is you look for a retrace to the point where you do like the R&R, or you look for what's called a lick-wick reaction. And a lick-wick reaction is when you have a fib pull from this high of the wick to the body, and you look for like a golden pocket reaction around here on super low time frames like the 1 minute and the 3 minute. And if you see like a bearish change of character, then you can enter on that change of character and put your stop loss above the original SFP wick. And then you just target your barriers or the technical target if there is no barriers. In this case, there is definitely a lot of barriers you got to watch out for. We got the VWAP, we got the orb, we got the volume shelf. So just watch out for all that stuff if you're taking it. This is not a trade that I would take. This is a trade a lot of people would take, though. A lot of people would take it. But yeah, let me get rid of this noise here for you. But that is Bitcoin's local price action. What else we got in the chat here? There must be something wrong with your open range. Looks totally different. So my candle. $15 into the 45. Dude, you're right. This is second day in a row. Second time this week I've messed it up. OR15's here. So here, 15 to 45. 15 into the... Yeah, okay. I should just make indicator that does this, if it's not one already existing, that mistake could really mess you up sometimes. And look at the confluence on that. Better, yeah, or retest of the orb high. And then, yep, strong follow through. 5-minute posture. A little ugly. Still, I don't think it would have changed my decision that much with the volume shelf being right here. All right. Let's see what we got in the chat. Long entry Bitcoin. 87472. Oh, good job, man. I wonder if I should buy spot Bitcoin now or wait for the pullback. Well, you can't assume a pullback, right? We're in a like a 50-day range right now. And if you look at the on-chain metrics, it would suggest that this could be the bottom, right? And we were just talking about what the absolute bottom would be. And from here, percentage-wise, is not that big of a drop. So not financial advice, but this would be a great spot to prepare for a DCA entry if you're going to be buying spot like long-term. And then planning maybe a partial TP around 107K or 99K, depending on how we react to those two levels. But overall, target all-time highs. And you're spot buying, when it comes to Bitcoin, I'm able to hold that for years, but altcoins, even spot feels like you're scalping these days because there's so many like really bearish negative reactions. Whenever Bitcoin confirms something bearish, alts get punished like 10x worse. Bitcoin Rush 2026 is coming, says Cario. Every country will be buying Bitcoin for their own reserves. Maybe that would be the dream scenario. We already got a couple countries doing it, right? So Bitcoin will be crossing 200K in a few months. I think it's so. When it comes to the bull market target, I don't know if it'll be a few months, man, because of the price suppression that we've been dealing with. A lot of these institutions are greedy and they want to keep the prices as low as they can so they can accumulate and induce fear while doing it. And then, they'll let it run after they're in. So we'll see what happens. But I do think that, 2026 is going to be a big year for Bitcoin in a bullish way. We're already positioned for that, right? We're already positioned in a way where there's way more liquidity above us than there is below us. So statistically, we should be a bullish year from here. Yeah. We'll see what happens. I don't see us coming down to let's see, this macro range down here again and being stuck for 250 days again. Now, if that were to happen, then it would be a bearish year. But I think it's going to be more bullish than bearish for sure. On-trade metrics suggest up. Structure is starting to suggest up. Like we're getting there. All right, testing, starting to come down to test the volume shelf here. These previous highs. Getting a doji reaction. I'd start to go down to like the 5-minute. Prepare for potential bounce off of this now to come back up. What do you do about altcoins? Market makers never allow new people but Bitcoin at the best price. Yeah. Market makers, you could use them as a tool to know when to enter a trade too. It's a big lesson, but there are very specific behaviors that you look for. Basically, just try to identify where liquidity is, and you can kind of start to sink into the mindset of a market maker. Is liquidity is, you got to think of it as the best location for a market maker. People who are trading with like $40 million or more to enter or exit the market. So if you know where the liquidity is, you can kind of ride alongside them and use them as a tool. And then your goal is to front run their exit plan, right? So their entry plan is usually where liquidity is. Their exit plan is usually where liquidity is. They tend to enter statistically more likely to enter if liquidity is below us, statistically more likely to exit if liquidity is above us. And you're just looking for structure to define, to help define their involvement. Like order blocks usually are induced by institutional involvement. Vector candles after like a bullish change of character. SFP sweeps, secondary sweeps. I would go in on a secondary local sweep. Usually has market maker involvement, and then you use them as a tool to jump in, and then you front run their exit plan by looking at like heat maps to find where liquidity is, and also watch where supply is, right? And supply is found through structure as well. Like stuff like this. Impulse move down, base of structure, impulse move down, supply risk, right? It's all over the place. One right here, supply risk. And deuces pullback. Deuces pullback. Right? Once you see it, you can't be unseen. This is not exactly a profession that you can master in a single day. Okay. Can we check Bitcoin dominance? Yeah, we could do that. Bitcoin dominance at 59.33. Let's jump back on the hourly here. Let's delete this. Was a local demand that we had drawn out here. Looks like we got like one bounce off of it here, and then we just smashed right through it like it wasn't even there after the fact. Right now we built this consolidative range between the 200-day EMA and the 50-day EMA. And now we have this demand here that could hold us up, but we are starting to come down and melt right through it. So this is a indication that alts are starting to come back in control. There's more attention being drawn towards alts today. Let's see. So we can mark this as an area of interest. We prepare for it to start to reverse. But now we have the 50-day EMA that could act as a form of resistance. Send it back. Let's zoom out on this thing. Yeah, we're predicting for it to come down here. And we peaked at around 66%. Now 57.34 is a critical level. We're very likely to see it act as a form of support if we were to come down that low. If I were to look at this like an asset, and not like a dominance chart, there would be a decent amount of pool liquidity down here. So a break of this momentum and then a bearish change of character, which we already had, would lead me to think that we'd be coming down to 57.34. So we might have altcoins come back into power for a little bit as we drop roughly around, like 3%. But yeah, lots of bearish confluence going on right now on this chart. We got the bearish change character. We lost the 50-day EMA. We're getting a harsh reaction of generating a form of supply here. So just, I'd prepare for it to come down. There's a good key level down here at 58.47. But other than that, we'll likely see it come down to like 57.34 after if we break past that area. We can mark this with the horizontal ray. There we go. That's Bitcoin dominance. Nothing too crazy. Still been stuck in that range. It doesn't mean Bitcoin can't pump. It just tells us that a large majority of the funds are flowing towards alts. And people are going crazy for the new year, just buying everything at the top of the year. You think Coma deserves a wrench? I think Coma deserves a wrench. Let's give Coma a wrench. He's always here first. Like, I think Coma gets to the lives before I do. Here we go. It's gonna, yeah, throw him in the, there you go, man. Coma has been bestowed a wrench. We should have a ceremony. I got a sword. I can knight you if you'd like. A Vestisharian yeah, mod. Okay. Let's see if we get a liquid reaction. I'm not really confident that we will, but it'll be really cool to see. Gonna walk some people through it that's never been through it before. But it would be around, yeah. So on the 1 minute, we have a 1 minute order block alongside that, which is pretty cool confluence. So right around here, look for a bearish reaction. Let's see what happens. Can we do XRP? On your knee already, nice. Okay. Oh, we'll knight you in a second, man. Let's look at XRP really quick. XRP. I'll pull this up. XRP on the hourly. Look at that. Nice. That looks unsustainable. That looks like it's gonna drop. Let's zoom out on this daily. Okay, it's first starting to approach. This gives me H-bar vibes. They are both ISO 20022 tokens, so it kind of makes sense that they are correlated with their movements. The last time we were talking about XRP, we had started building we had the squeeze event here, similar to what we had going on here. This one broke us to the downside, and here we kind of broke leading into the holidays, so we went range bound for a bit, but then came to the upside here after grabbing the liquidity that we had marked, because there's a decent amount of liquidity pooled, really strong enough to the point where I marked it on the chart with this golden box. And we zoom in a bit on the 4 hour, we can see we have this double bottom, and we got above, and we're fractalized a bit. We had this larger double bottom here, here, you know, so we can see fractalization, warning signs of accumulation. We'd want to see a 4 hour close above that neckline, or at least the hourly. The hourly is there. Yeah, the hourly got the close, so we can use the hourly. We might see it come back for a retest to take out about half this fair value gap that we created. And that retest could be an opportunity to prepare for a short if we get a bearish change of character, or a long if we get the break of structure. But we are coming into a value area low where supply is made, so just watch out for a bearish reaction here as well. But what you want to see if you're a maxi and you're holding this thing is acceptance into this value area through a break of structure. So it looks something like this. Probably hit our head off the point of control, come down, revisit the value area low, higher high, and then you target the value area high here. Okay, so we would want to mark this high here and just look for a retest. Off here. Crazy move. Congrats to anyone who bought in or got into a long position off our zone of interest here. It's looking really good. Yeah, Bitcoin's carrying a lot of assets too. Bitcoin has, well, XRP has a ton of pairing liquidity with Bitcoin, so it makes sense for it to follow along with what Bitcoin's doing. We have a really strong downtrending momentum here that we broke. So we got a really good reaction off of that too. Nice. But nothing you can really take action on right now. It's just a matter of if you're waiting for a long and you're missed out, you really got to be patient. Don't buy into the big fat green candle, right? Wait for the pullback, because these moves, when you see large fair value gaps like this, they tend to be unsustainable. You got to visualize what's happening to the order books. There's lots of clearance going on right now. So when people start to sell, the sell pressure is usually pretty strong because there isn't any asks in the order books within this area. So we tend to like teleport down a little faster than we usually would. All right, so we're at right now. Bitcoin's at that liquid area. We got a doji reaction so far, but nothing too concrete. Let's see what we're looking for. We need to have a 2 candle pullback at least. We haven't gotten any of that until way down here. So our key level for preparing for a short is at the bottom. Like screw that. We need to have a proper pullback, higher high, and then bearish change of character in the target down here. In order for you to trade off like a liquid, like like this. And that's generated from the 15-minute structure. We hit the 786 so far. So yeah, we pull back, higher high, then close. Pretty consistently going up. I think it's moving like XRP. Yeah, XRP is moving like Bitcoin, yeah. Oh yeah, let's do the giveaway. You must be new to crypto if you think it's up only. It would be nice if it was up only. But it'd make my, like, you wouldn't need me. Like, you wouldn't be following me if that were the case, right? Just buy and hold. You know, if you look at Bitcoin on like the yearly chart, it might feel that way, but all right, we got the pullback that we want. Now we just need 2 candles like this. Like just one more red candle, higher high, and close below the low. And you guys got yourself a very short-term scalp. Liquid trade. All right, one more red, and then pull back to the order block that we just created. That's what she said. Yeah. Okay, let's do the giveaway. I'm going to pull up the giveaway system. Wait for it to load here. Jeez, okay. Giveaway. Okay. So we're going to be giving away a $6,000 account from Klein Funding. Just getting it all set up here. How do you enter the giveaway? It's pretty simple. All you got to do is write the word giveaway when the system is listening. And I'll let you know when the system's listening to your comments. And every time, not every time, but once you say the word giveaway, you get 1 ballot into the system to get an potential free $6,000 account. And I'll also give away a free month to the courses and the community as well. So there'll be 2 winners today. Let's grab... Just logging in. Sorry, guys. Control C. You guys are too early. I'm not ready. Not ready yet. All right, log it in. And then I gotta grab the ID for this video. Okay. Got the ID. All right, so we got the 2 candle pullback. We just need a higher high. I don't like taking flips, and a flip is basically when you have like the conditions of a bearish change of character, except we don't get the higher high. It's just a lower high instead. So it's basically a descending double top. I don't really like taking those unless there's some kind of, there usually isn't because the structural positioning doesn't allow it, but unless there's like some kind of divergence. Okay, resetting, start listening. Okay. All right, now you guys can say the word giveaway. I got it all set up here. Just waiting on, yeah, so just say the word giveaway. Get added to the ballot system. We'll have it listening for about, I'll say 2 minutes. We have, how many people we have watching right now? 61. Okay, so if you get about 40 plus people, get you guys in there. Nice. What's up, Alex of Crypto? I can give you a hug. I can give you a hug for sure. How was your holiday, man? Andrew's saying Solana trying to get back into 144 range. Nice. I got a sell ordered there. Yeah, I got a sell order around 144. That point of control of that range that you're talking about. Okay. Jeez, guys. All right, we got 152 entries. Great, man. Just dropped all my friends. Nice. And the 1 minute's looking good so far. So we got the bearish reaction off our liquid area. We just need the higher high if anyone wants to do anything other than catch the knife. Because if you took this, you caught the knife, and you're just lucky so far that the knife hasn't got right through your hand. Your stop loss would be here. We need to have the higher high taken, and then take this low, and you have the 1 minute internal change of character, and you can start targeting the volume shelf again down here, or at least the 5 minute order block down here. All right, guys, I'm going to go through the raffle now. See what we have in the chat. 2026 is going to be interesting. Yeah, I think it's going to be a majority of the year is likely going to be bullish. There's one of our mods and community members, Wagner, had the same kind of thought that I did, that where we'd start off with the bullish year, and then around like November, December area, we go bearish again. Okay, I am going to do the draw now here, guys. Go to the draw page. Let's see who the winner is. I'm just gonna pick a winner. Let's see. OZ South. 97984. Okay. So you are the winner. You got a $6,000 Klein funding account. Right on. Okay, so I'll screenshot this, and then we're going to do another winner for a free month. So let's go a sec here, guys. I'm just going to screenshot this, put this in my notes here for the announcements. All right. Come on. Da-da-da-da-da. There we go. This person is also a elite member. Let's do another one. Otto. Otto, unfortunately, bro, I can't give you a free month because you're a part of the team. And I'm not sure how he got in the system. Okay. All right. It's technically, he's getting paid to be a part of us. All right. He's actually the one that helped build this system. He does deserve the win, but Jen Crypto. Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, she definitely deserves the win. All right, cool. Congratulations, guys. OZ South on the $6,000 Klein funding account, and Jen on the free month. Jen, if you're here, because members are automatically entered into the ballot, by the way. So they might not be in this live, but if you're here, I'm just gonna have it automatically applied to your account, so you don't need to worry about a charge for the next month. All right, the 1 minute got the break structure. The high looks really aggressive, but yeah, still valid. Bearish change of character if we take this low, but it looks a little too strong for it to actually occur. So we'll see what happens, but I think we're kind of on our journey up towards this value area high instead. It looks pretty strong. You can see what I mean though when it comes to Liquix. When you can start to see that we have that reaction that we need to have to prepare for it. Then we just need to have that low taken, and then you just use the Liquix, the SFP wick right here as your stop loss guard, and you just target the previous lows. I was hoping that it would actually play out so some people could learn from this, but that's kind of what you're looking for. It's just that close, and then watch your barriers towards your technical target. We might get a local SFP. We'll see what happens. But yeah, so let's delete this. It's invalidated. We're still on our way up. All right, cool. Can't believe you won 2 times. You can't win twice. Good morning. Winner, chicken dinner. My name is she, her, Jen Crypto. You long Solana? Oh, good job, bro. Nice. Yeah, Andrew was just asking about Solana. Let's pull it up really quick. Solana is doing good at trying to recover. Let's go back to the hourly for a second. Oh, we got that picture perfect. Well, not picture perfect, but we had a really good... Let me just show you what we look for when you're looking for a trend-bound warning when you're a range trader using valley areas, right? So here's a valley area, right? And what you look for in a setup to warn you that price action could be leaving the valley area is a breakage structure off of the valley area high. So we have a pullback and then a higher high, confirming that we could be leaving this area. And then you watch the peak level highs of the range. But what you're technically going to be doing is targeting the next valley area, right? And that's where Solana is right now as we speak. So if we get that acceptance into here, we did technically get acceptance as well during this moment into a 252-day previous valley area from the price action from back like over a year ago. But it had a significant amount of help and guiding us into really good longs. This range here we're getting acceptance into, right? But the internal range right here is going to be a big barrier that we want to see support off of. If we can see a break of structure leading into that valley area, then we can start targeting the valley area high, which is the macro point of control at $144. This is going to be an extremely strong area that we're going to try to break past. We do have a point of control along the way. Obviously, you got to watch out for as well. That can induce pullbacks. But yeah, once we get acceptance into here with a break of structure, then your target extension could lead all the way up to 144. And just above that, there's a stupid amount of pooled liquidity. And we're finally starting to break the downtrending momentum that's been holding Solana down since like $240. So things are looking bullish. Just got to watch out for the opposing barriers, which we're at right now as we speak. We could sweep this unclaimed high. And we just get a bearish opposing change of character that could bring us back down. But this is going to act as a form of demand if we do come back down. This is no longer a supply risk, so we can move this here. And just mark this zone as an area of interest for potential bounces. Okay. It's looking good though. Refine this a little bit to the order block. And just mark your wick level in case it kind of front runs everything. There we go. Slowly creeping up. Shall we knight Coma, guys? Should I whip out the sword? Let's do it. Let's do it. One sec here. One moment. I use this sword to help me undercut the price action. Okay. Coma, you've been knighted as a mod, bro. Here we go. Congratulations, man. It's almost meaningless, but now you can help us with the chat. All right. Well, I gotta go, guys. I hope you had yourself an amazing day today and an amazing holiday. I appreciate everyone who's been subscribing, sharing, liking the videos. It's been helping the algorithm a lot. My goal this year is to get to 25,000 subscribers, and I'm hoping that you guys will be there along the journey. And yeah, and also, of course, growing the account up too, and I'll share my journey through that too. Alrighty, guys. Have a great day. Reach out to me in the Discord if you need any help with anything. Congratulations on the 2 giveaway winners. I'll do an announcement post just to remind everybody, and I'll see you guys in the next one. All right, bye.